안녕하세요. 해임달입니다. 최근 한국 문화에 대한 인기, 한류가 세계인의 사랑을 받고 있습니다. 특히 한국 음식의 경우 최근 해외에서의 성장세가 과거에 비해 무섭도록 높아지고 있습니다. 해외에 수출되어 큰 인기를 끌었던 영화와 드라마를 통해 소개된 짜파구리를 포함한 라면류의 수출은 지난해 같은 기간 대비 36%, 김치 수출은 39% 가까이 증가했으며 한국 요리에 많이 사용되는 우리나라 고추장의 경우 2001년 김치, 2015년 인삼에 이어 국제식품규격위원회에서 세계 규격으로 채택되었습니다. 또한 이러한 인기에 힘입어 올해 우리나라 식품 신남방 지역 수출액은 사상 처음으로 일본을 제치고 1위에 오르기도 했습니다. 하지만 이러한 한국 음식의 인기는 단순히 한류 콘텐츠만의 덕은 아니라고 생각합니다. 아주 오래전부터 해외 곳곳으로 이민 갔던 한국인들이 한식을 때로는 전통적인 모습으로, 때로는 현지 문화에 맞는 음식으로 바꾸며 세계인들에게 조금씩 노출시켜 왔던 것도 마찬가지로 한국 음식의 세계화에 큰 역할을 했다고 생각합니다. 그리고 이러한 모습을 잘 보여주는 영상이 있어 준비해 보았습니다. 영상의 주인공인 라사 소렌스는 덴마크계 미국인으로 미국 미주리주 세인트루이스에서 자신의 가게를 운영하는 유명 요리사입니다. 그는 그의 이름을 건 이번 프로그램을 통해 음식으로 문화의 다양성을 표현하고 더 나아가 음식은 사랑이라는 좌우명을 가진 요리사입니다. 그런 그가 한국식 치킨을 판매하는 민석과 그의 가족을 통해 한국 음식을 경험하고 더 나아가 한국 문화를 경험하는 영상입니다. 그 전 영상에서는 한국식 치킨과 김치를 맛보는 영상을 소개해드렸는데 이번 영상에서는 민석의 가족을 만나 전통 한식을 경험하며 그가 잊고 있었던 음식의 의미에 대해 보여줍니다. 그럼 함께 보시죠.
As a chef, I need to stay curious in order to evolve. For me, that means looking beyond a great meal to learn more about who made it and what inspires them to cook. Every great city has great food. I'm going on a journey around the world right here in St. Louis to find good food and experience other cultures. I'm on a quest to find passionate chefs who cooks from the heart.
So if we go way back when you first started Drunken Fish, I mean, did you go to cooking school or where did you get your inspiration from?
Interest in food for me, even since I was a little kid, I mean, I was always watching cooking shows and like Julia Childs. I mean, I was very interested in food. Growing up in a household where my mom was cooking all the time. I mean, she was cooking 3 meals a day. It's always a Korean meal. Developing a palate throughout the years for unique cuisines and always trying out different places. But I definitely wasn't culinarily trained. But I knew what tasted good.
So a lot of times if you're classically trained, you have boundaries that you think you can't pass. So I've met great chefs over the years that, you know, have taught themselves. And, you know, that's great because you can think outside the box.
Right.
To get a better understanding of Korean culture and ultimately what motivates the menu at places like Kimchi Guys, Munsuk has invited me to meet his teacher and culinary muse, his mother. So Munsuk, I know the custom is to bring a gift the first time you come to somebody's house. So one of my servers in my restaurant, his name is David, he's Korean.
Oh, nice.
His mom made this and it is ginseng root, and I guess it's more for medicinal purposes, but I wanted to make sure you know, that it's okay to give alcohol.
You know what, my dad loves to drink and he's going to appreciate that very much.
Okay, great.
Well, just to give you a little background on my parents, I mean, they're just very, you know, simple. They're just hardworking people, you know.
What prompted them to come over here?
I think 2 things. You know, one, I think, you know, my older sister has muscular dystrophy. But at the time in Korea, they didn't know what she had. There's a lot more opportunities in America, better medical facilities. It's always that kind of perception, you know. They decided that they're gonna take a chance and move everybody over. And I remember as a young kid, we lived in the kind of a shady area of St. Louis, and they would have to leave us at the house by ourselves. But it was really tough on them both having to work, and there was no choice. You didn't have a choice. I remember that as a young kid, they would always call, and I mean, I just always heard my mom crying over the phone, you know. My mom always asked me why I continue to keep, growing. And it's the progress that I enjoy, the journey that I enjoy. But at the end of the day, you're making something that puts a smile on somebody's face.
Yeah. So your mom is ready for us?
I hope so.
Yeah. Do we have to take the shoes off?
No, just come on in.
Hello.
It's my dad.
Nice meeting you.
My mom.
Nice meeting you.
My niece.
Nice meeting you. We have a bottle for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
With ginseng in it.
Ginseng, yeah.
Ginseng,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
My parents have been living here in Maryland Heights for many, many years. And
So we understand you taught him how to cook. And you have a garden in the back. We would love to see your garden.
they're always growing something. Yeah, everything back here is edible. 이건 다 뭐지? 아빠 좀 알려줘봐 좀. Cucumber over here.
Okay.
Green onion here. 이건 다 뭐? And then you can see this is radish.
Radish, okay.
Sesame seed, like sesame leaves.
It's all here. Garlic, onions, cucumber, radishes, lettuces. An expansive garden tucked into the backyard of an unassuming suburban home.
This is actually Korean garlic because he actually got the garlic from Korea.
Okay.
And then he planted them. So you've been kind of saving a few every year, and then we'll plant those. 하나 빼봐. 여기 있네, 여기 있네. Like this. So when you pull it, yeah. And then you probably had this before. It
Yeah, it's
tastes very, very,
delicious,
very.
Delicious.
They'll plant this, and then every few months they'll have something else. And this is the Gochijan and Doenjang, and they're fermenting that right now. So this is house-made Korean miso. My mom will actually take the beans, grind it down, and start making this.
Wow.
She makes her own Gochijan.
After harvesting a few things from the garden, it's off to the family kitchen to prepare a traditional Korean meal. This is a process Munsuk's mother has repeated here in the kitchen day after day, year after year, for most of her life. Watching her turn things from the garden out back into a full meal, you get the impression that she takes cooking for her family very seriously.
Don't ask her about recipes because she doesn't have any recipes for anything. She does it by taste and feel. I said, when did you start learning how to cook? And she said, when I got married.
Yeah.
Several things that are very, very common is you're going to see a lot of side dishes called banchan. You're also going to see usually a meat dish as an entree that's being shared by everybody that's at the table, and a soup, and you're always going to see a kimchi at the table. That's the one thing that's probably 100% given. My mom's been an inspiration for sure. She's been a really, really good home cook, and she's always cooking Korean food, yeah, which I always crave.
Yeah.
So this is a typical side dish called 콩나물. It's just a steamed bean sprouts mixed with very, traditional Korean seasonings. But these are the 콩나물 and 도라지 is the two most common vegetables. 이거 기른 거야? This was from the back. This is from the back. Huh? Oh, this one he said it grows from the front.
Okay.
But yeah, this one, that's what you tasted earlier outside in the garden. Yeah, and you see my dad's out there and every day, like just tending the garden, and and he takes pride in eating fresh out of the backyard.
The smell of simmering miso and fresh vegetables is unbelievable.
And yeah, you just grab a little bit of the banchan. These are the side plates.
Okay.
And fish. This is the 도라지 that came from the front yard.
Okay.
This is the garlic shoots that came from the backyard. This is
all vegetable.
a lot of vegetables.
Okay.
Okay. This is the kind of pickled radish.
Okay.
The care his mother took to prepare a meal from the garden that they planted and tended to themselves was a good reminder of what cooking is really all about for me. The opportunity to slow down and spend time with those that are most important to you.
This is really good.
Oh yeah, that's the 도라지. You'll have the same meals 3 times a day. They'll make a different meat dish, different soup dish. Soup becomes a part of the meal. I think in American culture, you serve it first.
Yes. Munsuk's family was gracious. Growing up with 3 meals a day like this, it's no wonder Munsuk developed his appreciation for food. I've been a chef all my life. I'm 52 years old, and it's the first time I've had that. It's absolutely delicious.
Well, it's exciting that I'm sharing your first Korean meal, you know, in my mom's home.
You know, it's part of your journey, and that's why it's so interesting. It's like this is what inspired you to do what you do today. This is where it all comes from.
It does come from here.
It's your mother's fault. Food is love.
Food is love.
Yeah,
And love your food.
exactly. Well, I'm coming back for dinner tomorrow. You told him that, right? Good meal, good conversation, and newfound friends has me feeling grateful and ready to get back to the kitchen with some of the things I've seen here. Munsuk has found a way to bring his culture to a part of the city that at first glance may not have been the best place for it. To his own admission, the concept of kimchi guys wouldn't have worked here 15 years ago. But things are changing. The very idea that food and culture must be relegated to a designated area of the city and kept inside a cultural box, it segregates us from trying something outside our comfort zone.
재미있게 보셨나요? 한식의 진정한 의미는 그 모양에 담긴 것이 아니라 준비하는 데 들어가는 정성과 함께하는 사람들과 대화를 하며 정을 나누는 것이 아닐까 싶습니다. 어떤 형태의 한식이든 그 뿌리는 전통적인 한국 음식이며 정을 나누는 음식인 한식이 더 많은 사람들에게 알려지길 바라며 이상의 힘달이었습니다. 감사합니다.